Hey everyone, this is Lee from the 3D Modeler and welcome back to my channel. First of all, I would like to thank you all for your support. I really do appreciate it. And if you haven't subscribed yet to our channel, please don't forget to click the subscribe button. Today, I will show you how to create 3D furniture model suitable for production. Being an interior designer for more than 10 years allowed me to learn and deal with a lot of 3D software to achieve high quality 3D interior visualization. And to achieve a quick and efficient workflow, I always rely on pre-made 3D furniture model. And there is a lot of great free or paid website out there in the market. But in many cases, you need to model your own 3D furniture, maybe because of the size of the designed area or to make your design stand out. So you must have the knowledge and the skills to do so. And by the way, it is a lifelong learning process. And being in the field, I'm still learning new skills every day. And today, I will take you through the process of modeling a contemporary nightstand cabinet I used in one of my designs. So let's get started. First, you have to specify the standard dimension of the furniture you are going to model. Since we will model a nightstand cabinet, its standard dimensions are between 55 and 71 cm in height, and between 30 and 76 cm in depth, and between 50 and 71 cm in width. Then you have to specify the type of materials you will use in production. For this style of nightstand, I will use 18mm plywood with a light beige veneer finish and 18mm plywood with a white cream finish. Now we are in 3ds Max and I will begin our modeling process by importing our reference image. And I will start by selecting any viewport, Alt W to enlarge this viewport, then press F to go to the front view. Then from the shape panel, select rectangle and start creating a new rectangular spline like this. Then right click, convert to editable poly. Then press F3 to exit the wireframe mode and G to disable the grid. Now let's open the material editor and start creating a new V-Ray material. In the diffusion slot, I will add a bitmap, and in the bitmap, I will select our reference image. To assign our new created material to our plane, I will press on this button here. And to show the texture of the new created material on the plane, I will press this button here. But as you can see, nothing happened, and this is because we still need to add a UVW modifier to our plane. So, by applying a UVW map modifier to our plane, our reference image starts to appear. But, as you can see, it is stretched and deformed. And to deal with this problem, down in the menu of the UVW map modifier, press Bitmap Fit, then select our reference image and press Open. Now, the dimension of our planar UVW map modifier is proportional to the dimension of our reference image. But we still need to adjust the dimension of our plane, so go to the editable poly layer, and to show the effect of the UVW map modifier while editing our plane, we will press on Show End Result button. Then go to the edge mode and start adjusting the dimension of our plane like this until all our reference image appears on it. And this is how you can import any reference image into 3ds Max. This reference image can be a rough sketch for the piece of furniture you want to model, or an image for a piece of furniture you downloaded from the internet. And by the way, if you want to download this reference image, I will leave a link for you in the description below. Now, I want to adjust the scale of our reference image so that the dimension of the nightstand in the reference image is proportional to the dimension of the nightstand I want to model. And I want our nightstand to be 55 cm in height. So to do so, I will create a new rectangular spline like this, and I'll change its color to something like red, and I will adjust its length to 55 centimeters. Then I will select our reference image and I will start adjusting its scale like this until the height of the nightstand in the reference image is as close as possible to the length of our reference rectangle, which is 55 centimeter, like this. Now I can delete our reference rectangle, and now I'm sure that the nightstand in our reference image has a height as close as possible to the height I'm looking for, which is 55 centimeters. And before starting our modeling process, I want to freeze our reference image, so I will select our reference image, right click, object properties, enable freeze, and by default show frozen in gray will be enabled. Disable it and press OK. Now our reference image is frozen and we are ready to begin our modeling process. And I'll start my modeling process by creating a primitive shape which will cover most of the outline of our nightstand. So I will create a new rectangular spline like this. And as you can see, our created rectangular spline cover most of the outline of our nightstand. Now I can adjust the dimension of our rectangular spline. I will go with 55 centimeter in length and 56 centimeter in width. Now I can right click and convert our rectangular spline into editable spline and go to the segment mode by pressing this button here or by pressing shortcut 2. Then select the segment, delete it, then go to the vertex mode by pressing shortcut 1 and select all corner vertices, and I will use the fillet option to convert the right angle corners into curved corners. And I will go with 9 centimeter fillet, and as you can see, now our editable spline follow the outline of our nightstand. And since I have specified that our nightstand will be fabricated using 18mm plywood, then I know that this part of our nightstand has a thickness of 18mm. Therefore, we need to add a thickness of 18mm to our editable spline. And I will do so using the outline option. And to do so, we will go to the spline mode by pressing shortcut 3, then select our spline, go to the outline, and I will outline our editable spline by 1.8 centimeter. And as you can see, now we have added a thickness of 1.8 centimeter to our editable spline. Now we have created the front edge of the most outer layer of our nightstand, which is represented by the light blue part of our nightstand. Let me isolate our editable spline and go to the perspective view. Now we need to add volume to our editable spline to finish creating the outermost layer of our nightstand, and I will do so using the shell modifier. So go to the modify panel and add a shell modifier to our editable spline, and as you can see, now we have finished creating the most outer layer of our nightstand, and I will go with a shell amount of 45 centimeter, which represent the depth of the nightstand I'm looking for. Now back to the front view and exit the isolation mode. Now I want to refine the topology of the new created object. So let's isolate our new created object and let's inspect the topology of the object. And as you can see, we want a clean quad topology, which is not satisfied in this area here and in this area here of the created object. Let's add an editable poly modifier, then go to the vertex mode, and as you can see, we need to connect these vertices together with edges to form a clean quad topology in this area. And to do so, I have a very easy approach. I go to the polygon mode, select this polygon and delete it. Then go to the border mode, select this border, then go to the edge mode and deselect this edge by pressing Alt and click on it, and deselect this edge by Alt click on it. Now use the bridge option, and as you can see, now we have a clean quad topology in this area. Let me show you the difference between the old version and new version. This is the old version and this is the new version with a clean quad topology. The same process. In the back side, go to the polygon mode, select this polygon, delete it. Then go to the border mode, select this border. Then go to the edge mode, deselect this edge by pressing Alt and click on it. And this edge also, Alt click on it. Then use the bridge option, and now we have a clean quad topology all over our new created object. Now I want to add a chamfer modifier to our object to smooth the hard corner edges and give it a more realistic look. So go to the modifier list and add a chamfer modifier. And I will adjust the amount to 0.2 centimeter, and I will constrain the smoothness to the chamfered edge only. Now, as you can see, now our object has a smooth corner edges and a more realistic look. I also want to add a turbosmooth, but as you can see, once I added turbosmooth, we have deformation and the smoothing information in our object. And this is because of the lack of the supporting edges, which allow the turbosmooth to work properly. And to solve this problem, I will disable the turbosmooth and the chamfer, and I will add a new editable poly layer. Then I will select those edges and connect them together with new supporting edges. So select those edges, right click, connect. I'll connect them with two edges and I will give them pinch amount of 90 and confirm. Then I will select this edge, ring, to select the ring edges, right click and connect them with the same amount to add also new supporting edges. Now when I enable the chamfer and the turbosmooth, and as you can see, now our object has a soft realistic look and our turbosmooth is working properly. Let me show you the difference between with and without the supporting edges. This is without the supporting edges and this is after adding our supporting edges. Now let's exit the isolation mode and complete the modeling process of our nightstand. Now I want to model the second layer of our nightstand, which contains the drawers. And since I'm working in a non-destructive way using layers, I can use the object we have created to create the new one. So select our created object, Ctrl V to copy it. Then delete all the layers until you reach the editable spline layer. Then go to the segment mode, select these segments like this. Then Ctrl I to invert select, then delete these segments, then go to the vertex mode, select those vertices, right click, convert them from Bezier corner to corner, then move them upward like this. Now we want to add a thickness to our editable spline of about 1.8 centimeter, and I will do so using the outline option. So I will go to the segment mode, select our segment, then I will outline our segment with negative 1.8 centimeters. Now, as you can see in the perspective view in our reference image, we are modeling the dark blue part of the nightstand. And as you can see, the dark blue part is inserted inside the outer layer of the nightstand with about 2 centimeters. So now when we want to add volume to our new created spline, we will add a shell modifier. But instead of using shell modifier with amount 45, I will go with 43. Now let's select the inner and the outer layer, Alt Q to isolate them and go to the perspective view. Let me change the color of the inner layer to something like dark blue. Then go to the left view. Now I want to align the back of the new layer with the back of the outer layer. Now, as you can see in the perspective view, now the new created object, which is the inner layer, is inserted 2 centimeters inside the outer layer of the nightstand. Now I will refine the topology of our new created object, and since it is the same process we did in the outer layer, I will do it off camera and I will be right back. And we are back with the refined version of the inner layer of our nightstand. And let's exit the isolation mode and go to the front view, and let's complete our modeling process. And I will start by modeling the bottom part of the inner layer, which is the red part in our reference image, and I will do so using a rectangular spline, creating rectangular spline like this. And since our nightstand will be fabricated using 18mm plywood, therefore I can adjust the length of our rectangle to be 1.8 centimeters. Then I will select our new created rectangle and the inner layer, Alt Q to isolate it, then select our rectangle, and I will snap the top of the rectangular with the bottom of the inner layer. Then right click, convert the rectangular spline into editable poly. Then go to the vertex mode and snap these vertices to the outer edge of the inner layer, and these vertices with the opposite outer edge of the inner layer like this. Then go to the left view and snap our new created object with the front of the inner layer like this. Then add a shell modifier with amount of 43 centimeters. Now I will add the support edges, so I will add a new editable poly layer and go to the edge mode, select those edges, and I will connect them with 3 edges and pinch amount of 90. Press OK. Then select this edge, select the ring edges and connect them with the same value. Now I can drag and drop the chamfer modifier and the turbosmooth modifier from the inner layer to our new created object. And as you can see, let's exit the isolation mode and select the outer and the inner and the bottom of the inner layers. And as you can see, our nightstand begin to stand out. And it is almost done. So exit the isolation mode and back to the front view. And let's model the drawers of our nightstand. The same process, I will select the inner layer, Ctrl V to copy it, Alt key to isolate the copied object, delete all modifiers until I'm left with the editable spline. Now go to the segment mode, select these segments like this, Ctrl I to invert select, delete these segments. Then I will go to the vertex mode, right click, connect, and I will connect this vertex with this vertex to close our spline like this. Now I will add an editable poly to our editable spline to convert it to an editable poly object. And I will change its color to something like yellow. And now let's exit the isolation mode. And as you can see in our reference image, our nightstand consists of 2 equal drawers. And to do so, let's select our object again. I want to divide this object into 2 equal parts, and to do so I will use a reference object by creating a rectangular spline like this with the same length of our object and convert it to an editable poly object. Right click, convert to editable poly, then go to the edge mode, select these edges, right click and connect them. Now we have divided our reference object into 2 equal parts. Now back to our object and go to the edge mode and select these edges, right click, connect. Then I will snap the created edge to the center of our reference object. Now I can delete our reference object, and as you can see, our drawer object is divided into 2 equal parts. Now we can exit the isolation mode and I will select all parts of our nightstand, and as you can see, I will select our drawer object and I will go to the polygon mode. and I will select all polygons, right click, insert, and I will insert them by polygon and the insertion amount of 0.1 centimeters. Press OK, Ctrl I to invert select and delete these polygons. And as you can see now, the shape of the nightstand drawers begins to appear. Now we can add a shell modifier and the chamfer and the turbosmooth. But before doing so, we need to refine the topology of the drawers to have a clean quad topology. And let's go to the vertex mode by pressing shortcut 1 and wireframe mode by pressing shortcut F3. Now we need to refine the topology of our object to have a clean quad topology. And I will do so by selecting these two object vertices, right click, connect. Now we have our first quad. These two vertices, connect. And by the way, I'm using the shortcut I made for the connect option, which is the modeling process, and I recommend you to do the same. Like this. Now I'm left with these two vertices. I will use the cut tool to create a segment like this, and the same process in the other side like this. Now, as you can see, now we have a proper quad refined topology for the drawers object. Now we can add a shell modifier with shell amount 1.8 centimeter, and we can add the chamfer modifier, and I will go with amount 0.1 centimeter. I will increase the number of segments to 2, and I will constrain the smoothness to the chamfered edge only, and then add a turbosmooth, and I will increase the iteration to 2. Let's exit the isolation mode and select all parts of our nightstand, and as you can see, the face of our nightstand drawers is done. Now let's exit the isolation mode and go to the front view, and now we are ready to model the last piece in our nightstand, which is this cute custom-made wooden handles. And I will do so by I have already imported a reference image for the top view of our handle. Let's freeze our reference image. Then let's start creating a new line. Then I will use the lathe modifier. First, I will create a new line, and I will roughly trace the outline of our handle like this. Then I will go to the vertex mode by pressing shortcut 1. Then I will select our first vertex and adjust its position, right click, convert it from corner to Bezier corner. Then start adjusting the Bezier arms until the curvature of our created line follows the curvature of the handle. Same procedure, convert from corner to Bezier corner, then start adjusting the arms of the Bezier. Same process, convert from corner to Bezier and adjust the arms of the Bezier to follow the curvature of the handle. Right click, Bezier corner, adjust the arms. Adjust the positions of the vertices. For this vertex, I think I will use the fillet option. And by the way, I have made a shortcut for the fillet option to ease my modeling process, and I recommend you to do the same, like this. Now I want to smooth these vertices so not to have hard edges in our final model. Therefore, I will fillet them to make the transition smooth in this area, like this. Now let's add a lathe modifier. Press 1 and start adjusting the center of the lathe until our created object cover the whole handle. Let's go to the perspective view, and as you can see, now our handle starts to appear. Now let's add an editable poly modifier. Go to the border mode, select this border, control click on the vertex mode. By this way, I selected this group of vertices, right click and weld. Now we have closed this opening in the front of our handle. Let's isolate our handle, and as you can see, we have modeled our cute custom-made wooden handle. And now let's place our handle in its position in our nightstand. So exit the isolation mode and select all parts of our nightstand, then select the handle, and I will adjust the position of its pivot to be in the center of the handle, then move the handle to the center of our drawer, copy it, then adjust the position of the handle to be in front of the drawers, like this. Now go to the front view, exit the wireframe mode and exit the isolation mode, and start adjusting the position of the handle according to their position in our reference image, like this. Now select all parts of our nightstand, and here we are. Now we have finished modeling all parts of our nightstand. Let me add a unicolor material to all parts of our model. And here we are. We have finished the modeling process of our contemporary nightstand. And here it is after unwrapping its UVs and textured using V-Ray materials here in 3ds Max. And I think it came out perfect. And by the way, if you are interested in me making a tutorial video on how I unwrapped the UVs of our model and how I textured it using V-Ray materials here in 3ds Max, just let me know by leaving a comment on our video. And let me show you the set of furniture I have made using the same style and modeling technique we used in our nightstand. And as you can see, I have designed a study desk using the same contemporary style of our nightstand, and I modeled it here in 3ds Max using the same modeling techniques. And finally, you can render many poses for your piece of furniture here in 3ds Max, then use Photoshop to make dimension figures and send them to workshop for production. At the end, I hope you have learned something from our tutorial video and you got inspired to start modeling your own 3D furniture and create your own 3D furniture set. And if you like our video, please show some love by liking it and subscribe to our channel. Stay tuned. See you later.